It's Today in History for August 15th. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Book from the Rock History Book, Rock History Music, Rock History Canada Network, where we follow rock and roll, but we really enjoy doing this today in history. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is, well, you might want to put this video on their timeline. I think they'd appreciate it. The headline today is the unlikely song that knocked off the Beatles' Hard Day's Night off the #1 spot. You'll be surprised by this. We'll get to it in a second. Zeppelin released their last album. You know what that one is. The Doobie Brothers' Tom Johnston is 73 today, and Abba released Dancing Queen. Also on this day in history, Woodstock opened its doors. Born in 1938, Nesbert Styx Hopper, American jazz drummer for the Crusaders, born in Houston, Texas. He's still with us. He's 83 years old. Nice to have him still with us for sure. 1942, Peter York, British rock drummer from the Spencer Davis Group. He was born on this date, and he is 79 years old. Geraldo Jerry Velez, American drummer, percussionist for Jimi Hendrix. He was on stage with Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. I played with Spyro Gyra, Morning Dance, remember? Born in the Bronx, New York City. He's 75 years old today. Love this man so much. 1948, Tom Johnston, American guitarist, vocalist, lead singer for the Doobie Brothers from 1970-77, came back in 87, listen to the music, China Grove. The man makes the engine roll, that's for sure. He's 73 years old, he's back with them, still sound just as good as he ever did. Like, did I mention I love this man? American singer and songwriter Billy Griffith, he's the one that replaced Smokey Robinson as lead singer of the Miracles in 1972. He is still with us. He's 71 years old. Also, Tommy Aldridge, American heavy metal drummer, rock drummer for Black Oak, Arkansas. Ozzy Osbourne, Whitesnake, born in Pearl, Mississippi. He's 71 years old, born in 1950. It's nice to see a lot of these rockers we still have. He suffered some health issues in the last few years, I know that. Born in 1951, Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love. Every time someone heard that song, they thought it was not a white man singing it, but he's got that registered. Born in New York City, he is 70 years old. Bobby, I'm glad you're still around. 1978, Tim Foreman, American bassist for Switchfoot. Born in Luke, Arrowhead, California, 43 years old today. And in 1984, David Welsh, guitarist from the American rock band The Fray, scored top 3 hits, How to Save a Life. He's 44 years old. Joe Jonas from the Jonas Brothers. He's 33 today, born in 1989. We don't share pictures for people who really sometimes aren't on our lane, or else we just didn't have time to put them on. It's sort of an and/or thing. 1995, Vince Neil, daughter Skylar Neil died of cancer at the age of 4. The Motley Crue singer later founded the Skylar Neil Memorial Fund in honor of her. I remember this day. I remember when that happened. It was so incredibly sad. 2008, U.S. record producer Jerry Wexler, who's really responsible for the careers of Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, died at his home in Sarasota, Florida. He was 91 years old. Wow. In 2009, rock musician Jim Dickinson, frontman for Mudboy and the Neutron, dies after triple bypass surgery in Memphis. He was 67 years old. There he is. Bob Burch committed suicide. It was a sad thing. Longtime member of the Elton John band. He was 56 years old. He had a very distinctive look, and a lot of people, that was the Elton John camp, I remember, was solemn. There was just such a sad note of going, what? Bob's dead? And we remember we lost Dee Murray years earlier, the original bass player for the Elton John band. And this, in 1964, Dean Martin's Everybody Loves Somebody knocks the Beatles at a #1 spot. But you have to admit, that was a memorable song. And it obviously, in 1964, related to a lot of people. I mean, I used to sing it as a kid. Knocks him from #1 and gets to #1 on the Hot 100 on Billboard. Surprise, but it happens. In 1976, Abba released Dancing Queen as the lead single from their 4th studio album, Arrival. I love the album and Arrival. Those are my 2 favorite Abba albums. And I remember the jukebox at Miramichi Valley High School, where I went to high school, had a sticking problem. It kept going back to Dancing Queen. In spite of that, I never really got sick of this song. In 1979, Led Zeppelin released their 8th and final studio album, In Through the Outdoor. It was experimental for them, but I really liked it. Carouselambra, that long song, to this date, it's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, and a lot of my my Zeppelin fans, they scoff at it. They go, how dare you, that's sacrilege. 1995, Spanish pop duo Los Del Rio released the single Macarena in the US. I Want to Kill You. That song, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was really, really catchy. Everyone seemed to, like, you couldn't not tap your feet to it or want to punch something. I don't know. That's just the way it was for me, the Macarena. In 1939, The Wizard of Oz, one of the most successful movies of all time, premiered on this very date. Wow. If you take in inflation and you look at prices of how well it did, it's still one of the highest ranking movies of all time. In 1965, the Beatles played their largest crowd ever, 55,000 at Shea Stadium in New York City. Woodstock opened its doors on this very day in 1969 in Bethel Field. Don't have to say much about it, you just know it was a hell of an event. Muddy event though, kind of muddy. In 1980, George Harrison becomes the first Beatle to release an autobiography. When his I Me Mine is published, the Verve perform in public for the first time, playing the Honeysuckle Pub in Polstock near the hometown of Wigham, England. Sorry if I'm butchering these. And in 1991, Paul Simon played to 750,000 people, free concert in Central Park in New York City. Still one of my, from that era, he's still one of the greatest singers of all time. And 1991, Nirvana play at the Roxy Theater in Los Angeles, where they invite fans to attend the shoot of their first video ever, Smells Like Teen Spirit. That song kind of did well for them. Sly Stone comes out of a long isolation to go to the Knitting Factory in Los Angeles, where his little sister Vet is headlining her latest version of the Family Stone. And in 2007, the Osmonds reunite for the first time in 2 decades for the 50th anniversary on PBS. In 2009, U2's first UK gig on their current tour broke the attendance record for Wembley Stadium with 88,000 people hanging out and enjoying the show. There you have it. Today in history. Thanks for hanging out with us. Remember, if you want to help us out, we're trying to buy a new computer. We're almost there, man. We're almost there. You can leave a donation on our PayPal. There's a link at the very top of the description, or join our Patreon. We'd appreciate that. And we have a lot of extra interview clips for our sister channel on our Patreon. So we like to give you a little extra stuff. And remember, enjoy your day. If it's your birthday, have a great day. If it's not your birthday, but you know someone whose birthday is August 15th, put this video on their timeline. This is John Beaudin from Rock History Book. Take good care of yourself.